Hey everybody, what's up? It's Joel, aka The Daily Guru. It's another segment of Ask the Guru, so let's get to the questions. The first question came to me via email, and it basically asked me my opinion on the drama that's been surrounding the band Black Sabbath lately. If you're not aware of it, a couple weeks ago, Black Sabbath announced that for the first time in a few decades, the original lineup of the band was going to go back into the studio and make a record. Along with that, they were going to do a worldwide tour, but then all of a sudden, things started breaking down. Most of the issues have surrounded drummer Bill Ward, and he keeps saying he's waiting for a signable contract. Whatever that means. Clearly, both the album and the tour are going to bring in a boatload of money, so I don't see what the problem is in making sure that each of them get whatever cut they want. There have been rumors over the last few days that they're coming close to a mutual agreement, so hopefully that happens. Then the other day, the band announced that they were going to cancel a couple of their European dates, but at first they didn't exactly explain what was going on. The reality is, guitar god Tony Iommi has been battling lymphoma for some time, and he needs to get additional treatment right now. It's been said that among other people, Slash and Zakk Wylde are going to fill in his absence until he gets back. You cannot stop Black Sabbath. Captain Eats asked, what do you make of the whole "Who is Paul McCartney" fallout from the Grammy Awards? I'll admit, I had to do a little research on this one because I didn't watch the Grammys, which I explained last week. But for those of you who don't know, following his performance on the Grammys, Twitter exploded with a ton of people basically saying, who the hell is Paul McCartney? Honestly, I'm not all that surprised, and I think all the people who got bent out of shape and offended need to get themselves some perspective. Yes, he was a Beatle. Yes, he made some phenomenal records in the 1970s. But consider this, your average college student was born nearly 2 decades after McCartney's last great record. And you can see from that most of their parents were more children of 80s music than they were Beatlemania. I mean, acts like Madonna and Bruce Springsteen are considered classic now, so that pushes the Beatles into an even older category. People need to understand that time has passed, and while the Beatles are unquestionably a part of music history, Paul McCartney simply doesn't have the same pop culture relevancy that he did a few decades ago. Yeah, it's sad, but it's really not that big a deal. Montiri asked, do you think that Nirvana are musical geniuses or just grossly overrated? They're certainly not musical geniuses. I reserve that title for people like John Coltrane, Brian Eno, and Prince, among others, and clearly Nirvana are not in that category. As I've said many times, Nirvana were just punk with a different title. The title of grunge was an advent of the music industry. Furthermore, Nirvana weren't even the first ones to make that sound. Bands like Mudhoney and Babes in Toyland had been working towards that for years. And we all know that Pearl Jam's 10 hit shelves before Nirvana's Nevermind, and we all also know that Nevermind isn't even the first Nirvana record. At the same time, you can't argue that due to their energy and the place they were, Nirvana were absolutely a musical institution unto themselves. And there's no arguing that In Utero is a flawless piece of musical perfection. As I see it, the industry were looking for a band to put out there and sell, and Nirvana fit the bill. But I don't think they're a grossly overrated band. I think Nevermind is a grossly overrated record. It's not the best album of that year, it's not the best grunge album, hell, it's not even the best Nirvana album. The record was simply the right sound at the right time. And finally, Brown Coat by Night asked, if you had to, Coldplay or Nickelback? Honestly, I'd rather have my ears severed off and be forced to live with the memories of all the great music I've heard than forever pollute my mind with such atrocious excuses for sonic creation. So those are the questions for this month. If you have any questions for me, go ahead and send them to me at thedailyguru@gmail.com. We do this every month. Next month, maybe I'll do your questions. Be sure to follow me on Facebook, Twitter, and Tumblr right here, and I'll see you guys again on Friday.